Howdy, pals. I'm here today to speak to you about a huge project that China and Russia are working on together to build railway lines in Europe. This project is a joint venture between the two countries. This is one of the biggest projects ever undertaken anywhere in the globe, and it will have a significant impact on the region's overall economy as well as its transportation network. Let's begin by defining what railroads really are. By the use of this system, it is possible to establish connections between a variety of cities and nations by means of the transit of commodities and persons. As compared to other forms of transportation, traveling by train offers a number of benefits, including the fact that it is one of the quickest and most convenient options. Both China and Russia have put a significant amount of money into the construction of rail lines that will link different parts of Europe. This is not the first project that these nations have worked on together in the past. The first section of the railway that links Harbin in China to Vladivostok in Russia was completed and put into service in 2017. The total cost of this project was around $15 billion, and its duration of operation was approximately 10 years. This roadway is an integral component of a bigger project that would ultimately result in the construction of railway lines that will link China, Russia, and Europe. How much will it cost? And how long will it take to complete this massive undertaking? The two countries estimate that the overall cost of its execution will be close to $100 billion. The date of the building and launch of the roadways has not yet been defined. Nevertheless, the procedure will be lengthy and extensive, and it will include the participation of hundreds of thousands of workers and engineers. It is to be expected that, in addition to the movement of commodities, railroads will also be employed for the transportation of persons. For instance, passenger trains currently operate along the Harbin, Vladivostok Expressway, and these trains cater to the needs of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of travelers. What are your thoughts on this proposed project? Do you believe that this may be a turning point in the way the economies of Russia and China, as well as Europe as a whole, evolve in the future? Or, to put it another way, do you believe that this may result in brand new difficulties and unfavorable repercussions? Please share your opinions with us in the comments section. On the other hand, the United States of America is very critical of this project and believes that it poses a risk to the country's overall economic stability. They are concerned that the project that China and Russia are working on together would greatly cut into the advantages they now have in the global market, and as a result, they are making concerted efforts to undermine it. Yet, in spite of this, there is still ongoing building of railways throughout Europe, and even more of them are scheduled to be built in the near future. For instance, one of the projects is the building of a railway that will link Moscow and China. It will consist of 3 distinct lines and will go across Kazakhstan as well as Mongolia. The total cost of the project is anticipated to be $242 billion, and its completion is anticipated to take place in 2026. Initial projections indicate that these trains will be responsible for transporting up to 200 million tons of freight each and every year. In addition, the annual passenger volume on these routes might reach upwards of 20 million passengers at its peak. The building of the Northern Trunk Railway is another project that is being undertaken. It will link Siberia and Europe by traveling via the territories of Russia, known as Krasnoyarsk Krai and Yakutia, then traveling by water to Murmansk, and finally traveling through Finland and Sweden to reach Germany. The project has an estimated cost of $275 billion, and its parameters are not scheduled to be fully implemented until the year 2030. This initiative has the potential to become an important one in the process of supplying the Russian economy with the primary partners in Europe. In addition, the completion of these projects may result in a strengthening of the economic ties that bind China and Russia together, as well as an increase in the region's allure as a location for business investment. On the other hand, there are professionals who have voiced worries over the potential adverse effects of this endeavor. In particular, a number of security specialists are concerned about the possibility of threats to national security posed by the building of infrastructure along the border between Russia and the European Union. However, representatives from China and Russia stated that the project would be focused on commercial purposes and would not have a military purpose in any way, shape, or form. These statements were made in response to the United States' expression of concern regarding the potential use of these railways for military purposes. What are your thoughts on this proposed project? Do you believe that it would be helpful for the economies of Russia and China if they worked together? Do you have any worries or concerns regarding the level of security during the building of such a massive piece of infrastructure? Leave a comment below with your ideas and opinions. It is important to point out that the Sino-Russian collaboration in the sphere of railway transport is not restricted to the Greater Eurasia Project alone. This is something that should be taken into consideration. Other projects, such as the building of a railway bridge over the Amur River between the Chinese city of Tunjiang and the Russian city of Blagoveshchensk, are also being worked on by China and Russia. The construction of this bridge is expected to result in a considerable cutback in the amount of time needed to travel between the two countries and represent a new key step in the expansion of economic connections between China and Russia. Hence, the collaboration between China and Russia in the sector of railway transport is an important event in the history of contemporary times and has the potential to lead to a great deal of progress in the region. On the other hand, just as with any other significant undertaking, there are potential hazards and risks that need to be evaluated and addressed at an early stage. The construction of a railway bridge across the Amur River, which will link the towns of Blagoveshchensk and Haiti in China, is another notable project now under construction. This project will likewise be jointly sponsored by China and Russia, and the duration of its construction is estimated to be between 4 and 5 years. One of the most costly projects in the history of collaboration between the two nations. The entire cost of the project is more than 10 billion United States dollars, making it one of the most expensive projects ever. These projects have the potential to draw a considerable number of passengers and freight traffic between China and Russia, as well as between Europe and Asia in general. Also, these projects have the ability to attract passengers and freight traffic between Europe and Asia in general. This has the potential to have a beneficial effect not just on the economy and commerce in the area, but also on the cooperation that exists between the two nations. Nonetheless, there are those in the globe who do not support these programs. The United States of America, in particular, has voiced its alarm with China's expanding influence in Europe and Russia. They are concerned that this might result in an uneven distribution of troops and a risk to the national security of the United States. In addition, a number of lawmakers and environmental professionals have voiced their worries. What are your thoughts on these various projects? What kinds of challenges and opportunities may they present? Leave a comment below with your opinion on the matter. We appreciate you viewing and hope to see you in our next videos.